What is up, YouTube? Salty Texas back with another epoxy leftover project. So we barely had enough epoxy left over from my East Coast resin jugs and decided, I got a lot of scrap laying around the garage. So we got this little bit, mixed it up real good, had some sawdust that I've literally have hung on for the past year and still haven't gotten rid of. Decided to do like another translucent project using those, plus these little beads from a previous project that you saw me do. And I was wondering, what kind of effect can we get with these little beads plus some sawdust, and just basically look at what we could get. So got that all mixed in together in a little pot. It looked pretty cool once it was all kind of mixed up and put into the resin pot. Picked up these little scraps because we don't want to waste anything on this channel. So got it over, put it out of the pressure pot, and for the most part it didn't look too bad. It was kind of unique looking, smaller just like the previous one that I did, but I decided this time I'm not going to do a lid. Just decided, it's a small little cup. I think we got enough material here to turn that down. Didn't want to make like a little case or anything with it, or a box. So you can see the translucency of the sawdust, and I figured once we got that turned, polished, and sanded down, it should look absolutely fantastic. So got that all finished, and then taking a scrap piece of pine and attaching that for the faceplate. So here we are. I never showed this on the channel, but got this, I've had this for a while. It's the Wolverine sharpening system, and just sharpening up my tools before we get started. So got to make sure your tools are sharp. All right, so got it on the lathe, got the faceplate put on there, put the banjo down, and get the tailstock all aligned. So started hitting it with the sharpened chisel, doing relatively well. Project didn't give us a lot of problems, had a lot of good shavings coming off of it, and I backed the camera up so you can kind of get a better look at what that looks like once we start really getting those shavings off. Casting went a lot better than our previous project that we did, but overall, it's pretty good. So then I hit the square end, not the square end, but hit the bottom of the bowl with the round carbide tool. Got some good shavings off of that. Trying to save enough material. I rounded it off so square on the bottom that I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough material to actually reverse it on the lathe with the chuck. So now we're just gouging out the bottom of it. Everything's going relatively well up to this point, and for the most part this project went really good. Like I said earlier, didn't have a lot of problems with it like I've had in some previous videos. And you're actually watching these videos that I did in the summertime, because I'm trying to back catalog a lot of these because of work issues that won't let me get into the garage as much as I like. So once we got the mortise turned down, now we're just getting this waste block off. And for a minute I kind of thought about doing a top for this box, but I was like, nah, let's just do a cup, because you remember my last video that I kind of did with these beads, the top of the pine actually came off, which kind of ruined that look, but decided to do just a regular cup with it. So we just got the saw and then boom, glued it off. And now all we're doing is just getting that nice round edge off, the beading, getting all that excess plastic off of the actual material itself. Didn't have to hit it with the skew on this one. Everything kind of went pretty well with the casting. As you can see, I was comfortable enough hitting it with my hands, not having to worry. Don't do that, by the way. Horrible woodworking technique. So now we're just gouging out all these cool little confetti looking beads and not having any issues with it. Everything else is coming out really well. Really excited. I think the banjo did hit the lip of the bowl there for a second, which kind of freaked me out because I was going to be like, son of a bitch. It fucked up. But everything was going pretty well. Hit it with a square carbide tool. Didn't get any chatter or any kind of chipping with this particular project. Everything's going real nice and smooth here, and getting it danger close to the mortise, but just rounding out the edges, getting everything smoothed out the way that I like it to be. So once we got it down to the depth that we wanted, then we just came back, hit it with a sandpaper as we usually do, going from 320, and on this one we actually did do the micro mesh on this particular project. There's that last polish pad. Looks really cool. I like to do wet sanding. It's a lot better than having just to do dry sanding all the time. But these micro mesh pads, they're resilient, man. If you've never used these, go ahead, check them out. They're on Amazon. No linking in the description because my channel is not that big. But here we are, just hitting it with that polish. that I like to use, getting everything nice and smoothed out, looking real nice and shiny. You can see my hand in the cup and the translucency there on the bottom. If you look at the bowl, you can see how translucent that stuff is. Really good stuff. So once we got everything polished down, then we're gonna throw it into the sun. Actually, it would have looked a lot better had there been no overcast. It actually looks a lot better than this. Not saying that I didn't like the way this turned out, but the sun didn't come out for like the first part of this particular presentation, which kind of looked kind of sad, but it looks bright and fun. Really happy the way this turned out. So hope you guys got something out of the project. Don't forget to subscribe. You can see all the cool little fine details in the sawdust and the beading. Something just unique and just different. So hope you liked it. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next project. Peace. All right, so project is done. Another small little cup that did not turn out horribly bad. It actually turned out pretty damn well, as you can see here. You got that cool, not too much of the sawdust, and then you got these cool little floating beads, and then you can see where it's just floating up in the resin, which looks spectacular, by the way. Had some trouble with the chisel. I don't know if I didn't sharpen it correctly, which I probably didn't, but overall, really happy the way this little cup, it's just a little guy. You saw a previous project where I tried to make a lid and stuff, but I thought there was enough intricacy here and there wasn't enough resin with this particular mold to really do any of that other stuff, but it looks really cool. So there it is, this week's project. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next project. All right, peace.